Get all that started. Okay. Well, again, thanks for everybody. We might as well get started here just because we are at 2:05. So thank you for joining us this afternoon on this beautiful Thursday afternoon here in Calgary. Sun shining, it's great. Weather's getting nicer, which is always fantastic. We got a great session here today. So I thought I wanted to get started right away. I'm going to pass everything over to Dawn Fiender-McCann. And of course, our fabulous presenter today is Sue Evans, because we have a great topic that I know everybody's going to be very, very interested in. So myself included. So without any more ado, I'll hand it back. I'll hand everything back to you. Okay.
Okay.
Off you go.
Thank you. And thanks everyone for joining this afternoon. It's hard to stay inside when it's so nice outside. Taleo does these sessions, and I've actually done one as well. And I find them great because they're a half an hour. And Sue Evans is joining us today. I don't know about you, but when I think about hypnotherapy, I'm very intrigued by it. And then clinical hypnotherapy means even more to me. And I'm so lucky because I actually have Sue in my life as a professional colleague and friend. So I'm very glad that she had some time to join us today. And I've actually had the advantage of sitting through a dry run of this. So you're in for a treat, I can guarantee you. But that does mean that the 20 minutes that we normally spend on these seminars in 10 minutes Q&A, Sue's got some really interesting exercises for us. And so we're going to probably stretch to the full 30 minutes, but I do know Sue has offered to stay on an extra 5 minutes. Didn't you, Sue? Is that still?
Yeah, okay? No problem. Yeah.
Yeah, so Sue has a tremendous professional background in business and now attributes that to her clinical hypnotherapy business. So without further ado, I don't want to take any thunder away from this amazing woman, and I'll turn it over to Sue to get us going here. Welcome.
Oh, thank you, Dawn. What a lovely introduction. Thank you very, very much. So just getting the technology out of the way. Can everybody see the screen? Can I just see a number of nods and things? Thank you very much. So assuming that everybody's on mute as well, just from a noise perspective. But I'd just like to thank you very much for being here today and for listening to what I hope is a really interesting topic for you all, which is around self-hypnosis, meditation, hypnotherapy, that space in the world. Just to give you an insight about how I came to this work, I came to Calgary in 2013. My education is as an engineer, my profession is as an HR professional. Came to Calgary and really didn't find my niche or find it an easy place to land in. So I struggled a little bit and I found a hypnotherapist to help me. And in doing so, I found this great body of work. So I trained, educated here, and now this is what I love doing, is sharing all of this this space of hypnosis with anybody who will basically listen to me. So thank you for indulging me today. Wonderful. So the first thing that I'd like to do is talk you through what we're going to do in the next 30 minutes. So I'll do that. Why can't I move this forward? Thank you very much, system. Okay, so our session today, what I want to cover is I'm going to be busting the myths of hypnosis, first and foremost. I'm then going to cover hypnosis, meditation, hypnotherapy, what they are, while they're different, are they different? I want to talk and speak to our own personal self-improvement and how hypnosis plays a part in that. We are all going to learn how to be our own self-hypnotists. And hopefully, time allowing, I will then be able to share with you the most amazing technique that you can use, that it takes only a very few minutes, where you can completely get back in control and reduce any feelings that you may have in your body or your mind about something that is really, it's just niggling at you. It's just frustrating you. So we're going to cover that by the end of the session. So it's quite a busy 30 minutes. So let me start by busting the myth of hypnosis. And this is one of the questions I'm always asked. I can be at a dinner party, I can just mention it to somebody. They always ask me if I can make them, or will I make them cluck like a chicken? And actually, my husband gets this question all the time. Does your wife make you cluck like a chicken, Hugh? He's always asked. And the fact of the matter is, no. Unless he really wants to cluck like a chicken, and that's his own personal choice. But other than that, I cannot make anybody do whatever they don't want to do, because you're never out of control. Okay? In hypnosis, you are always in control. Now, you'll never do anything against your ethics or your values. Even if you're in a trance state and somebody did ask you to do something just for a joke or a laugh, that you wouldn't do it. You truly would not do it, because your subconscious mind would just not allow you to do so, because it's there to keep you safe. Your subconscious mind is that part of you that is here to keep us alive and safe, and so it would just bring you around or wake you up. The second thing I'm asked is, am I asleep? Now, anybody who has meditated, and I'm assuming most of us on this call have meditated, know that in a meditative state, we're not asleep. We're just really beautifully, deeply relaxed. And we know that there are 4 brainwave states. I hope you can all see those now on the screen, from beta brainwave state, which is awake and alert, just as we are now, through to more of a relaxed state, alpha, through theta to delta. In hypnosis, we work in theta, low brainwave state, and that is a state that we call somnambulism. That is a state we want to reach so that the subconscious mind can receive suggestions. This is also the brainwave state for meditation. But no, we are not asleep. So I hope that puts that one to rest. The third question that I'm asked is, well, isn't it a bit hocus pocus? Isn't hypnosis a bit unnatural? And the answer to that question is not at all. We are all in hypnosis many, many times in the day. So let's just look at the images on the screen here. These are just some examples. When we're reading a book, we're in a very focused hypnotic state. The reason for that is that we're focused on what we're reading and we're emotionally engaged in what we're reading. So our imagination is at work. We're thinking of the characters, we're thinking of the storyline, we're feeling what those characters are going through. It's described in beautiful imagery. And because we're in a relaxed state, we are in hypnosis. As I've said, with that brainwave state in somnambulism, we are in hypnosis just before we go to sleep and just before we wake up. Now, have any of you, I'm sure you have been driving and you can't remember where you've been. You get to a destination and you suddenly think, holy heck, how did I get here? I don't remember that traffic light. I don't remember those miles that I've just spent driving. And I have missed many a turn off on a motorway because I'm in hypnosis, because I'm thinking about something entirely different and I'm focusing my mind on that, and my subconscious is driving the car, literally. And the final one is watching TV, watching television. Great one for being in a hypnotic state, and that's why lots of companies advertise on the telly, is because those suggestions are so easily received when we're in hypnosis. Now, I don't know if many of you have partners or family and they might be watching a television program or on a gaming machine. You'll ask them a question, you'll talk to them, they're not going to be responding to you at all. And it's because they're in hypnosis. I often think my husband's just terribly rude when he doesn't reply to me, but actually he's in hypnosis. And the fourth thing that I want to speak to is people who ask me, can anybody be hypnotized? Can I be hypnotized? I don't think I can be hypnotized. I hear that quite a lot. And as I just expressed and explained, we are all in hypnosis a lot of the time anyway, so it's a really natural thing. However, the reason that some people find it more difficult or believe they find it more difficult is because hypnosis is they expect it to be something that actually in reality it isn't. They expect it to be a bit hocus pocus. They expect me to do something to them, whereas that really is not the case. And so they're trying too hard. I do get clients who come to me and they're always asking me, are they doing it right? So am I doing it right? Should I be doing this? Should this be happening? And actually in hypnosis is all self-hypnosis. So whatever happens to you in your experience is the best experience as it can be. All I can ever do is take you on a journey in hypnosis, but you experience the journey. So there are no right and wrongs. So if people stop trying, it's much, much easier. So in hypnosis, we have lots of tapes running in our minds all the time, every day. Thoughts and beliefs that have been developed since we were, well, in the womb, really. And we have lots of positive and negative programming. And we can reprogram ourselves. We can use neuroplasticity to reprogram negative to positive in a very repetitive way. And the reason that we can do that is that in terms of negativity, we program ourselves into negativity. Does that make sense? So how many of us have those tapes running sometimes of, oh, I'm not good enough, or he's smarter than me, or no, I don't think I should do that, or, we just sort of have it. It naturally comes to us. It gets in the way. Well, in hypnosis, we can reprogram, and that's the beauty of the technique. So simply stated, hypnosis empowers you to change your unconscious thoughts. So I just wanted to touch base with everybody on the differences, as I see them, between meditation, self-hypnosis, and hypnotherapy, because all of this world is sort of all becoming a little bit merged. So meditation for bygones is a wonderful, wonderful, amazing tool to gain that sense of peace and calm during a busy day. And we all know now how important it is to be engaged in some sort of mental exercise for the purpose of reaching that peace and calm state. It's amazing. How many apps are there now available with meditations or guided meditations on them? You can be in a meditative state for a moment or for a much longer time. It's a choice. We take ourselves there, we relax down. It's very, very healthy. Meditation is wonderful to have to do in your daily life. Self-hypnosis is exactly the same thing as meditation. Let's just be clear about that. It's being in a deeply relaxed state. But self-hypnosis has an intention. The purpose for self-hypnosis is you want to shift something, you want to change something, you want to move towards something, you want more of something. And then finally, hypnotherapy is the therapy. It's the way that we're applying the tool of hypnosis to somebody in a much more specific manner. So if I put that in imagery for you, which I always think is easier because I love images, is that meditation to me is like you going to the gym. You've taken a decision, you're going to go to the gym because you want something from it, but you do it in your own way, in your own style. Self-hypnosis is when you've got a plan to it. I have a plan that I am going to work towards, so I will do this for this reason, for this period of time. Hypnotherapy is you're getting a personal trainer.
So where does when you talk about neuroplasticity and the retraining of the pathways,
yeah,
where that's occurring at self and hypno, right?
That's happening in self-hypnosis if you're talking towards an intention. So if we're looking to change a habit or to replace negativity to positivity, which are those brainwave neural pathways around neuroplasticity, which is neuroplasticity, those are the things we need to be changing, which is why in self-hypnosis, when we move into positivity and in terms of thinking positively or stating things positively, then we need to do it for more than 21 days in a row. Because we need to recreate those pathways. So it's not going to happen in a moment.
Okay.
Okay. So meditation, we can get peace and calm in a moment, actually. Yeah, that process of relaxing our body, allowing ourselves to breathe, and breathing is huge in the meditative state. We can achieve that, but we're not reprogramming anything. In self-hypnosis, we're moving something for an intention.
Okay. Thank you.
Now, the thing is with the language is that if you go onto the internet and look for meditations or audios or recordings, then you now have guided meditations that look at all sorts of things in our lives. And a lot of them have an intentional change component to that. And if that's the case, they're really more self-hypnosis guided recordings than they are meditation. But it's all sort of becoming one now in terms of a language. So just to highlight that meditation and self-hypnosis are both techniques to take you down into a state of deep relaxation. The purpose has been, or is defined as, self-hypnosis is to an intention.
Okay.
Is that okay for everybody? Does that make sense? I mean, I don't guess you have to get hung up about it at all. If you're using any sort of guided meditation tools or whatever, they're all going to be good stuff. All good stuff. Now, there are lots of companies now wanting to offer meditation / self-hypnosis as part of a wellbeing program. I thought I'd just highlight a few of those for you. I think it's fascinating now, this step into this space of mindfulness and wellbeing. And lots of celebrities use hypnosis. You'll have seen this all over the news, to help themselves shift, change, move towards something. In fact, the Duchess of Cambridge in the UK, she uses hypnotherapy for hypnobirthing when she has children. Well, she's had 3, so she's used it for that purpose herself. And so today I wanted to really offer us a process, a protocol for applying self-hypnosis in your lives, in my life. I use this all the time. And so I wanted to just give a little example before we step into it for ourselves. So using hypnosis for self-improvement, this example is to be a confident presenter. Now, I think this is fairly common in the world of work. Some people really love presenting. There are many people who really don't like presenting that much. And it's not that they can't present or they wouldn't be good at it. It's that the rattle in their head, their voice in their head, their belief system is that maybe I'm no good at it. It might be, oh, I think I'll say the wrong things if I stand up there, or I might make a complete fool of myself. Or what if I blush? You know, that neck blushing thing. What if that happens? I'll feel so foolish, or I'm going to forget what I say. Or even I'm not smart enough to speak. These are just some things that come up when people might think about presenting. So in terms of self-hypnosis for self-improvement, if we wanted to shift those thoughts, those negative thoughts, those feelings that make us feel a bit uncomfortable about presenting, what we can do is we can use this self-hypnosis approach of positivity and positive suggestions to recreate those pathways so that when we are asked to present, we don't get those feelings anymore. We don't actually have these beliefs anymore. We feel so much more empowered to step into that for ourselves. A bit like training.
So is that where the 21 days rule comes in with that? Yes. To really reprogram? Okay, thank you.
Absolutely, and that is a minimum of 21 days as well. So if you're looking at anything around habit change, it's always going to be at least a minimum of 21 days. In fact, anybody doing any weight loss program with me, we're looking at taking that way out. But of course, weight loss isn't just about habit change, it's about lots of other things as well. But if you really, truly want to engage with a change, remember that you don't just have to do it once a day either. You can do it as many times as you want in terms of, taking yourself into a hypnotic state and speaking positively. Now, to be clear, our language, our thinking is always creating our state for us anyway. So if you're constantly repeating to yourself something that's negative, that will be so. The subconscious mind gives you what you want. So if you speak in the negative, you will get it. You know that classic statement, be careful what you wish for, I think it is. I always think of that because whenever we're speaking, think about what you're saying. Think about what you're putting out there, because that is who you are. That's what you're getting for yourself. And so reframing, positivity, so important in life, so important for our mental health and for getting what we want. And I'm sure I'm preaching to a choir. I'm sure all of you know that positivity is everything now, because it's all over Facebook, it's all over social media. It's all about taking the negative, be positive, be who you want to be. But it's true. It's based in that neural plasticity, that changing the brainwave state and really changing how we think about ourselves. So with that in mind, and for you to become your own hypnotists, I thought we'd have some fun with it. So I'd just like you, if you could take a moment just to choose a goal for yourself. Just choose something that you might like to start working on. It doesn't have to be huge. It could be small. It could be whatever you want it to be. And then what we're going to do is create 3 positive suggestions related to that goal, which are short and meaningful, okay? Because we don't want anything complicated. And so I've just given an example on this slide for you. So say it was about self-esteem. I want to have more self-esteem in my life. So it might be, you might write down, when I believe in myself, so do others, or I can express my needs and feelings. You know, I feel comfortable doing that. Or I am my own unique self. I'm special. I'm wonderful. Giving that sense, that growth of self-esteem, that stepping into having self-esteem. Does that feel okay for everybody?
Yes.
Okay, so I'd like everybody just in your own mind, write it down, just choose yourself a goal. We'll just take a few moments to let you write down 3 positive suggestions. Do you want to raise your hands when you're done, just so I know, or something? Kevin's done, Dawn's done. Oh, great. Thanks, Anne-Marie. Thanks, Matthew. Deanna, are you good? Perfect. Great stuff. Great stuff. Lovely. I think that's everybody. Everybody's good. All right. So I'm hoping everybody's going to participate in this exercise, and I hope nobody's driving. So if there is anybody in a car, please do not participate in what we're going to do next. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through that process of self-hypnosis that you can do yourselves. And afterwards, I'll have the script in the deck. So you'll have it for yourselves. Okay. So what I'd like you to do is just look back at those 3 sentences or 3 statements and just remember them, what they are for you. That's why they need to be short and positive. Okay. And then what I'd really like you to do is just close your eyes down. So wiggle around in your chair just to get comfy. That's it. Just take a moment. That's it. Just get nice and comfy. Just really let your back relax into the chair, assuming you've got a back on your chair, and just get comfy. And I'd just like you to close your eyes if you haven't closed them now. Just close them down, just to block everything else out. And just to take a nice deep breath. Nice deep breath in, and just let it go. And just in and out. Nice deep breath. And as you let the breath out, just, you might even say the word relax in your mind. And just enjoy the feeling as you just breathe out. Just enjoy the feeling of your body, just, you know, that little sense of slumping down just a little bit as everything relaxes in the chair. Just keep breathing in and out, just comfortably, calmly. Be a nice deep breath. Just allowing your body just to relax down that little bit more. That's it. feeling everything just become heavier as it relaxes down. Just feeling really comfortable. And as you relax more and more, as you breathe in and out, just feel your body relax. You're doing amazingly well. Feels really natural and really comfortable. And in a moment, not just yet, but in a moment, I'm going to count from 10 down to 1. And as I count from 10 down to 1, I'd just like you just to repeat that word, relax, in your mind. So here we go, 10. Relax. 9. Relax. And if your chin just floats down to your chest, that's perfect. 8. Relax. 7. Relax. 6. Deeper and deeper relax. 5. Deeper still. 4. Beautiful relaxation. 3. Feeling so calm. 2. Just feeling wonderful from the top of your head to the tips of your toes, and 1. Deeply relaxed. Perfect. And I'd like just now to ask you to repeat your positive suggestions to yourself. Just repeat them. Repeat them maybe 3 or 4 times, whatever works. And as you repeat them, really feel them. As you repeat them, you really feel them. Perfect. And when you're ready, you can just tell yourself that you're going to come back to the day. And when you do that, you're going to be full of energy and feel wonderfully alert. So just count from 1 to 3. Coming back to the day. 1, gently, slowly. 2. And just 3, open your eyes, come back to the day, wide awake, feeling wonderful, feeling wonderfully refreshed. And for some, have a stretch, because I always love to have a stretch after I've done that. Woo. Okay. And so that really simple process that you all did so beautifully, you were all in hypnosis, because you are all hypnotists of your own self. And you can achieve that and do that with anything that you feel mindfully about.
That was wonderful.
Sorry?
That was wonderful.
Oh, thank you. So one other little tip actually is that if any of you suffer from headaches or anything, you get a headache in the middle of the day, don't ever forget that you can get rid of that by just simply speaking to your unconscious mind. Just go into that state and say to your unconscious mind, off you go, headache, I don't need you. Off you go. And that headache will be gone. So remember how powerful your subconscious mind is. You can do that. If I get bitten by anything, I'm terrible. I get bitten by things all the time here. And you get that wheel or that itch, just say to your unconscious mind, go away. I don't need you. You're not serving anything for me. And it will go.
Mm-hmm.
You have the power.
Mm-hmm.
Always. Just make sure that you're giving yourself that power in the thoughts that you're having.
Okay, we've got one person dropping off, but I really like the concept. Have to run to another meeting. Thank you very much. Okay, so I think we have one more though, right?
Well, only if everybody's got time. Is everybody okay?
Everyone have time? We lost Matthew, but how about everyone else? If you have to leave, just text me in the chat.
Okay, well, hopefully if I do it, then it's on the recording for people to get.
Oh, exactly,
They can't make it. So I've just given you a technique there for being your own self-hypnotist, and you can just go down into that state, counting down from 10 down to 1, then reaffirming your positive suggestions. Keep doing that over and over again. It's a lovely place to go just for a little bit of peace and calm. But the technique that I want to offer to you today is one when you're feeling anxious about something, or maybe those thought patterns are running and it's meaning that you can't sleep. You know, you can't let those things just drift and float away. They're nagging at you. You might be nervous about something. You might be about, just a time where you're just feeling a bit uptight. So I want to give you a technique to let that go. Okay. So this is super simple, and it's also on my website as a video, so you can always go and see it there. But this is how you do it. So what I'd like you all to do now is all to think of something that might be niggling you. And I guess for you all, there's going to be something, just something that's sitting in your mind, back of your mind, that's just not feeling good. And when you've got it, when you just know you've got it, whatever it is, just raise your hand to let me know. Okay. Great, thank you, Kevin. Okay, so what I want you to do is this. I want you to take a breath, and I want you to take one of your fists. I don't care which one it is. Well, no, sorry, first of all, I just want you to notice that feeling. So that feeling, whatever's on your mind, where the feeling is, I want you to feel it in your body. Does that make sense? For me, it's always my tummy. If I get anxious about something, it's always down here in my tummy. So I want you to feel that feeling. And I want you to number that feeling from 10, which is the highest anxiety in the world, or stress or frustration, to 0, which is doesn't mean anything to you. I want you to give it a number. Okay? So you all can do that. And then what I want you to do is take a fist. And I want you to squeeze all of that feeling into your fist. Now, you might shut your eyes for this. You might take a nice deep breath and squeeze it in. But what I want you to do is squeeze that feeling into your fist. Really squeeze it. Let it all into that fist. And you might even feel your fist getting a little bit warmer as you squeeze that feeling into your fist. And when it's all squeezed in, you can squeeze it in no more. I'd like you to let your fist go, and I'd like you to open your eyes. Great, perfect. All good? All right, lovely. So now what I'd like you to do is I would like you to imagine the best time ever, or something that just gives you massive pleasure, massive fun, puts a smile on your face. Just something like a moment, an experience, a place, a time, something that just gives you joy. I want you to go there, find it, and then I want you to squeeze it into the other hand. Okay? So I want you to find that and squeeze it into your other hand. And you know what? What happens when you do this is you can't help it, but you start smiling. You just start smiling because you're thinking of that amazing time, that amazing moment, that amazing thing. Makes you feel great. And when you've done that, just let your hand go. Open your eyes. Everybody, good. And then I want you to take a breath. Okay, and then I just want you to look up at the ceiling and look back down again. Great, great job. Okay, now this is the great, wonderful magic. What we're going to do now is I'm going to ask you to squeeze your fists together as I count from 5 down to 1. So here we go. When you're ready, here we go. Squeezing them together. 5, 4. Taking a nice deep breath. 3, 2, and 1. Let them go. Let them go and take a stretch. And then I want you to go back to that feeling that you had at the beginning. See if you can find it. I've got everybody okay? Now, this technique is called the emotional detox technique. And this is what's called collapsing anchors. But the brilliance about it is that you can do it anywhere. So you can do it if you're in a meeting and you're getting really wound up about something. You can do it in a meeting because you can put your fists under the table. People don't have to see you. It's brilliant for using at bedtime if you just can't sleep, because you're not disturbing your partner in bed by squeezing your fists and thinking of wonderful things. So it's a really lovely technique that you can use anywhere.
I wish I discovered it in my 30s.
You can share it with friends and family, and it's one of those things that's so easy that people accept it and do it. It's not hard, and it takes moments, seconds to do. And when you're used to doing it, it's just bish bash bosh.
So do you use this yourself, Sue? Do you use that technique yourself?
Always, yes.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
For me, it's often at bedtime. If I've got a racing, I know people say journal it, write it down, I've still got stuff going on. Do it in bed. It can be in the morning, early hours, brilliant. If I'm stressed or something's on my mind, do it then. It's such a calming, amazing technique to use. So I hope that's been helpful and useful. I hope that was worth staying on. I'm sorry it's been a few minutes.
No, it was totally worth it for me. If anyone has any questions for Sue, how do we contact you? Do you have a slide for that?
You can. I've put it on the slide, but there's the email is sue@resultstherapy.ca. That's my email. Number 403-771-1580, or my website is resultstherapy.ca.
Excellent. We've got some really good feedback here about even just learning this technique and maybe transferring it to one of our children as well. It's a high anxiety time for kids. It's a weird time for kids. Like, it was already weird, and now it's weirder.
Yeah.
And I don't mean, I mean kids of all ages, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And remember that little kiddies are great in hypnosis, because they're in hypnosis nearly all the time anyway, because they're in, Wonderland. So anything around stories or techniques is phenomenal for children. Okay. They're really great at this stuff. But, I find even for those who are deeper thinkers, that technique they will use happily, because it gets them results really quickly.
Yeah, well, we're getting feedback about people being energized here, for sure. Does anyone have any questions for Sue, the wonderful Sue Evans?
Sue, I was thinking, when you kind of sit and you kind of step away and everything like that, how long does it have to be? Does it have to, typically do you need 2 minutes, 5 minutes, however much you can take, or, because not everybody's going to be able to step away for a half an hour to meditate during the day, say.
In terms of a meditation and rest and peace, actually, you can just do that in a couple of minutes, Kevin. It depends what the purpose of it is. If it's just to calm, it can literally be a few minutes. Just take deep breaths to center ourselves, as people call it. For that tool, as long as it takes you to go through the process, but you must go through the process to get the benefits. In terms of hypnosis and shifting into an intention, I would say you'd need 15 minutes.
Okay.
15 to 20. And then you need to and that's a guided, as in probably something that you'd listen to. So I give most of my clients a recording that they listen to. So my husband, Hugh, has a recording that he uses as a pick-me-up in the middle of the day. and he would just literally go to the car or go outside, put his earbuds in, zone out. And remember that 15 minutes of hypnosis is equivalent to 4 hours sleep. So it's a really good tool as well for re-energizing for the afternoon. If you do it at lunchtime. But never, 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 never listen to something before you go to bed. So don't listen to it before you go to bed. Then go and clean your teeth and then get back into bed, because by then you're never going to go off. You need to, if you're going to listen to anything, meditation, hypnosis at bedtime, do it when you're ready. Literally plugged in, ready to go.
Oh, okay.
Make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, absolutely. Sure does. That's perfect.
Alrighty. Well, it's been a pleasure. Thank you, everybody.
Well, thank you very much. I know you've done a very thoughtful job here today, and I really like how you explained it to us, because I even, I did a master's degree in clinical approaches to management and leadership and empathy, and we discussed values, which has introduced me to you. And I remember coming back from France when I got my master's, and people said, "Oh, is that sounds like voodoo?" And I'm like, okay, really no. So I think you've done a really good job of deconstructing it for us, and giving us really great examples and making it very accessible. So I really appreciate your time today. Thank you.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you. Right.
Thank you again, Sue. Thanks for joining us today. Thank you, everyone. I know that we will continue to put these videos up on our YouTube link, Taleo Connects as well. So again, your time is valuable. So thank you all very much. This is really great. And I know everybody's going to walk away and have a great rest of their afternoon and day. I know I will anyways. I feel very, very energized. So that's great. So thank you again, Sue. I appreciate it.
Yeah, well, when I didn't, because I know Sue, I wasn't sure whether I would be energized, but I totally am. So it really
Remember your own self hypnotist, Dawn.
okay. All right.
Alrighty.
Lovely.
Okay.
Have a great afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank
you.
Bye. That was great.